Ooh, baby. Halloween Horror Nights 2023 has just announced their entire event this morning. And if that doesn't get you hyped, I don't know what will. Speculation season is over. So, for the final time during the speculation season, let's talk about it. Welcome to the Horror Fiends. I'm your certified horror dad, Kyle Beatty, and today we are talking about that Halloween Horror Nights has completely announced everything today. If you've missed it, which I don't know how, I'm going to cover it in today's video, so be prepared because this might be a long one. We're going to be covering all the scare zones, all the houses, and the shows that were announced today, along with the Cabana Bay experience and more. So, without further ado, Halloween Horror Nights 2023.
Exorcist Believer, only at Universal's Halloween Horror Nights. Escape Vecna's curse, Stranger Things, only at Universal's Halloween Horror Nights. Step into the world of The Last of Us, only at Universal's Halloween Horror Nights.
And I'll see you suckers at Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights next year.
An all-new haunted house, inspired by the hit USA sci-fi series Chucky, is coming in 2023 to Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Orlando Resort and Universal Studios Hollywood.
I can't wait to play.
The first thing I want to talk about today is that the fact that Oddfellow is here. Oddfellow has been announced, his house, his scare zone has been announced, there's been clips of his voice and more that were released in a podcast today, and I'm telling you right now that Dr. Oddfellow is the icon of HHN 32. Everything today we're basically going to be talking about is going to be connected to Oddfellow in some form, so first let's get into the houses that were announced this morning. So, we already know a few that were announced in the past, but let's jump straight into the Exorcist Believer. Now, this whole time we've been speculating that the Exorcist house that was coming to the event wasn't actually going to be the Exorcist Believer, it was going to rather be the classic Exorcist with Reagan, the one we all know and love, but Horror Nights proved us wrong this morning when they dropped the Exorcist Believer as well. The Exorcist Believer is an evil awakened. Two missing girls have been found with no memory of what happened to them, but wherever they want, the ultimate evil has returned with them. Enter the most terrifying scenes from the new Blumhouse film. So if you've seen the trailer for The Exorcist that has come out recently, you might be a little excited for this. If you haven't yet, make sure you go and check that out. I'm excited for The Exorcist Believer. I know not everyone shares the thoughts on that, but I'm always in to see what is going on in these horror remakes or these horror requels, and seeing that in a haunted house, even if the movie isn't great, I know Horror Nights will make the house great, because I am one of the select few that did like the Exorcist house when I went through it before. But let's make this quick, let's keep moving on, okay? Next one we're gonna get into is that the Chucky house has finally gotten its formal announcement. It is called Chucky Ultimate Kill Count. So Chucky's back for even more carnage. Chucky, the serial killer doll, is back for a new gore fest. He's hijacked his own haunted house with all kinds of bloody hijinks. You and your friends must try to survive his ultimate kill count. Now, I know not everyone was excited for Chucky, and honestly, everyone seemed to have forgotten that Chucky was announced last year. But now it's getting its formal announcement with its house name. And honestly, this art here just is beautiful. I am so excited to see Chucky in a house. I know before in an old video I talked about this. I wanted to see little people, like little actors, like short actors, portraying Chucky. But the more I thought about it, I am so excited to see puppeteers inside of this house, creating some kind of Chucky doll, Tiffany doll, Glenda doll, you know, everything inside of the Chucky sci-fi series that, I don't know, I'm just excited to see it being done by puppets this time. And yes, this will cover, like I said before, the sci-fi series of Chucky. Make sure you check that out. It is on Peacock, I believe, if you haven't seen it. A little thing to know if you want to check out the Chucky series or anything that Universal has on Peacock. If you buy a Halloween Horror Nights ticket, it does give you 6 months free of Peacock. Next one I want to get into. No one ever predicted this house name. We always believed it was Universal Monsters in Paris. That's really all we saw on like Horror Night Nightmare speculation maps and things like that. But it is called Universal Monsters Unmasked. 4 Universal Monsters and 1 new nightmare. Descending into the Paris catacombs, where you and your squad will face a new horde of monsters. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, the Phantom of the Opera, the Hunchback of Notre Dame, and the Invisible Man. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, this is one of my most anticipated houses of this year, because every time they do a Universal Monsters house, it is amazing. And it always connects. I know last one connected with, you know, the other coast. I don't know if it's going to be the same here, but I'm very interested to see with these new monsters, not your classic, you know, Dracula, Frankenstein. You're getting Dr. Jekyll, the Invisible Man, the Hunchback, the Phantom of the Opera. These are great horror movie classics that have never been used in this event besides in the Museum of Horror back in the day. I'm going to tell you right now, this next house I'm going to talk about is my most anticipated house. If you've been watching the videos on this channel, you know I'm an icon fanboy, and so anything to go on with icons, either being old icons or new icons that have resemblance to the past, like this one this year, I'm going to be excited about it. So without further ado, let's get into our first original that has been announced. Dr. Oddfellow's Twisted Origins. Your soul is a price he's willing to pay. You won't be able to resist going inside Dr. Oddfellow's menacing menagerie of twisted oddities. But the price for you and your friends is steep. The cost of your souls to feed his immortal power. If you don't know who Dr. Oddfellow is, I have a video talking about it. I posted it a long time ago, and I also have the deep dive I did with other creators that I talked about it as well. Actually, I don't think I talked about it. I think Nerd Squish talked about it, and she did a fantastic job. But Dr. Oddfellow is in the past of Jack, and he has this immortality through this certain cane he holds that Jack took from him in HHN 17, I believe. Yeah, 17. Jeez. Sorry, this is a lot to remember all at once on this video. HHN 17, Jack took the cane from him, and we haven't seen the cane since. I've skimmed back in 25 and, you know, 20, and then seeing in, you know, 30. I didn't see Jack holding the cane since 17. I might be wrong on that. But this will give us, I don't know if it's a backstory or what going on in this house, but this is our icon house. Now we do actually have the lucky, I guess, break of having a picture of some of this house, of Dr. Oddfellow's house, that was posted earlier today. I will flash it up on the screen real quick. We can kind of see, maybe that's the facade back there. If that is, it just looks fantastic. This whole oddities carnival kind of theme going on. Oddfellow is just such a in-depth icon that they could create here because of all the lore behind it with just creating the Jack icon. There is a podcast out currently right now by Universal. Make sure you go and check that out, where they go in deep and talk about Oddfellow. I actually haven't listened to it yet. I've just heard certain things from it, like little excerpts, and I plan on listening to it later. But I don't know. I'm very excited for this Dr. Oddfellow house. Next is one we've been speculating for so long, but it's finally been announced. Another original, Dueling Dragons Choose Thy Fate, based on the Islands of Adventure Dueling Dragons ride. 2 warlocks of great power were turned into dragons after trying to take Merlin's spellbook. Now you and your friends are caught in their epic battle. You must choose a path and a victor. Now what I'm hearing about this house is that it is going to have several endings, right? It's going to be like, you know, Universal Monsters Legends Collide or HHN Icons Captured, where we had different kind of endings, victors at the end. And this is what I'm hearing here. I'm hearing maybe 4 different endings for this house that may be happening. So this is going to be a great house to go through several times to marathon this house to see who wins or what changes each time you go through. Next is the one I was talking about in the spec map video, the previous video we just did, and that is Yeti Campground Kills. We haven't had Yeti since HHN 29, I believe, with Yeti Terror of the Yukon. Yeti or not, here they come. You and your friends are going to venture into a 1950s campground overrun by huge, menacing Yetis who rip apart anyone who gets in their way. You must flee to the Ranger Tower to escape. Now I'm telling you right now, this is going to be a fantastic house just from the description alone and what I know that HHN can do in their houses. And if this is speculated, where it is speculated, they have a lot of space to work with. And I really think they can make you feel like you're outside. I'm expecting to feel like I'm on a campground. I want trees. I want that Ranger Tower they're talking about. And I want Yetis. Let's do it. The next one is going to be the Darkest Deal. Yes, the one we were talking about with the whole Devil Went Down to Georgia vibe. Let's talk about it. Fame is fleeting. Fear is forever. Blues musician Pine Straw Spruce will have to face the music after meeting with the Collector and trading his soul for musical glory. You and your squad learn the terrible price of fame. Now, like I said before, in previous videos when we were speculating this house, is that it's going to be the bluesy vibe. You're going to have your blues music, that Devil Went Down to Georgia vibe. That's going to be in this house. And I'm very excited to see what they do as far as the, you know, construction of it, the set of it. I'm curious if we're going to be on the crossroads when he makes the deal. I'm very excited to see what is going on in this house. Next one is the Salem Witch Trial house we speculated, and that is called Blood Moon Dark Offerings. In a Colonia era village, moon worshippers witness a blood moon at their fall festival. They take it as a sign to hunt down any non-followers, including you and your Scream Squad. Yep, Scream Squad's back. Yep, you didn't miss it, but I don't care. It's back. Oh well. But like I said before, this is colonial era. It says it in the description. It's a village in the colonial era, meaning this is the witch trials era. Meaning this is when people are hunted down. You know what the witch trials are. I don't have to explain that to you. This isn't a history channel. But this is going to be a fantastic house. And so that covers all the houses that were announced today, with a total of 10 houses, including the ones that were announced in the past, like Stranger Things and The Last of Us. Everything is now announced as far as houses go. So let's talk about those scare zones real quick, because these ones are so great and they are connected to the icon. They are connected to Dr. Oddfellow. Every single one of them has to do with him. So let's talk about them. First one is going to be the one that welcomes you into the park, right? This is going to be the one you're going to walk into straight through the gates, and that is Dr. Oddfellow's Collection of Horror. Obviously, this is going to be my most anticipated scare zone because it's Dr. Oddfellow's zone. This is the icon scare zone. Let's talk about it. Dr. Oddfellow will lure you into Halloween Horror Nights with a promise of immortality. As he lifts the veil on all the horrors to come, you'll soon realize you may not even survive the night. He's promising you immortality. Is he wanting you to become part of his freak show? I don't know. That's still to tell. We will find out once we walk into that zone. But it's finally been announced. The scare zones we've been speculating for so long, that carnival of oddities we saw on the spec map, that was a horde, turned out to be a scare zone, and it is Dr. Oddfellow's Collection of Horror. The next scare zone, oh, I was right, baby. I'm sorry. I was right, guys. I was right about this whole Dark Zodiac thing. I've been talking about it for so long, since we saw those Zodiac signs on the spec map from Horror Night Nightmares. Dark Zodiac's coming, so let's talk about it. Dr. Oddfellow has entered a dark dimension to harness the power of the Zodiac and live forever. See how I was talking about that Dr. Oddfellow is going to connect to everything this year? I wasn't lying. He twists the signs into malevolent beings who forfeit your doom. As his star rises, yours falls. Next scare zone, the Jungle Scare Zone. We've been wondering, what is this? Has a name and it's been announced. Jungle of Doom. Expedition Horror. In the 1920s, Dr. Oddfellow ventured deep into the darkest jungle, performing horrific experiments on nature. Now his monstrous creations are running amok and are coming after you. Now, this scare zone sounds amazing. I know there's so much they can do in Central Park for this one. They could create such an awesome thing. And the fact they connect to Dr. Oddfellow. All these connect to Dr. Oddfellow. Have I said how much I'm excited about that? I don't know. Have I? You tell me. Let's keep going. Here is the one everyone's been talking about and everyone's been loving the construction of, with the whole beautiful stage. and that is Vamp 69 Summer of Blood. At a 60s music fest in a small New York town, you'll jam to popular bands with fellow concertgoers until Dr. Oddfellow unleashes vicious vampires on the audience. They're out for your blood. This is gonna be fantastic, bro. Let's keep going to San Francisco. That is going to be Shipyard 32 Horrors Unhinged. This was the Siren Shipwreck, scare zone we've been speculating. That used to be the Krampus scare zone, but is not. And that is the Shipyard 32 Horrors Unhinged. Enter a 1940 San Francisco shipping yard full of mysterious crates and cages bearing Dr. Oddfellow's symbol. Beware, his nightmarish oddities have now escaped, spreading fear and chaos in their wake. Now, we do still believe that there are sirens in the zone. That's probably still happening. No, it's just so beautiful that we know all of the scare zones now, that we can see the construction and know exactly what's going on. So that covers all of the scare zones that have been announced today. And let's get straight into the show, the single show that was announced. And that is Nightmare Fuel Revenge Dream. The show that sparked your darkest dreams has reignited for a third time. Let your nightmares burn out of control as the pyro and aerial performers fire you up to the beat of metal and electronica. I don't know how you guys feel about Nightmare Fuel, but me and my wife, we love it, right? Me and my wife love it. Honestly, she's sad she can't do this video with me today because she's stuck at, her day job. Look, Nightmare Fuel's always been beautiful. When we've gone, it's a massive showcase of talent. And I'm excited to see it for a third time with this awesome new logo. Now that is everything as far as the houses, the shows, and the scare zones that were announced. Everything was announced for Halloween Horror Nights 32. But no, we're not done. We're not done. We're not done. You don't leave yet. Don't leave yet. There's still more that they announced. Let's talk about it. Let's go straight into Cabana Bay, right? Let's talk about what's going on in Cabana Bay this year. There's usually some sort of experience. If you're a hotel, a Universal Orlando hotel, like if you stay in one, if you hold a key card to your room, you can enter this attraction. This year is going to be Chucky's Twisted Playground. You can run, but you can't hide. Pose for photos at Chucky's Twisted Playground. A photo illusion experience based on the USA and sci-fi TV series features 5 uniquely scary photo opportunities. Chucky's Twisted Playground is exclusive to guests at any Universal Orlando Resort hotel. But no, you thought we were done? We thought we were done with the hotel attractions. No, Cabana Bay isn't the only one this year. You guys are all getting things for HHN this year at the Universal Orlando hotels. Let's talk about them. Universal Monsters Gallery of Legends. And be sure to set aside time to visit the other 6 Universal Orlando hotels as you go on a photo hunt to find different Universal Monsters photo opportunities waiting for you in the hotel lobbies. Every single Universal Orlando resort hotel is going to have their own experience, kind of like Cabana Bay. Obviously, Cabana Bay is the original, so they're going to have their own Chucky experience, but in the other 6, you're going to have a bunch of Universal Monsters experiences. So if you're staying in any one this year, you will have one. But no, we're not done. We're not done. You know that bar we were talking about that was being constructed? You might be confused. You're like, why is everything announced, but we just still don't know what's going on there? We do. And here is what this bar is going to be. New this year, Peacock's Halloween Horror Bar will feature themed libations within an ominous nightclub vibe, photo opportunities, and more. We're getting some photo opportunities once again back at HHN. And they're going to be in this bar that we were talking about. I'm thinking it's Lombard's. I know it's not confirmed on this announcement, but I'm thinking it's Lombard's. I think Lombard's is where this bar is going to be set up, and I'm very excited to experience this. That means you're going to get Peacock's Horror. You're going to get whatever's on Peacock. I believe you have Black Phone, you have Chucky, you have Halloween. I don't know everything that is going inside of here, but it's going to be a massive collection of horror from Peacock, from Universal in one bar that you can take photo opportunities and drink and have fun in. Now, you might be wondering, what's going on with the Tribute Store, right? What's going on with the Tribute Store this year? Is it going to be in Jurassic Park? Is it going to be in New York? Halloween Horror Nights confirmed that today with their announcements. They announced that the Tribute Store is returning to New York, and that place we love so much. And it is going to be the all-new Tribute Store where guests can experience a mysterious New York City comic book shop and experience the tribute to horror by stepping into the pages of this original terrifying horror comic book. Now, we did have that, Easter egg. I talked about this, I believe, in a live stream. Maybe not, actually. But there is an Easter egg in the Jurassic Park Tribute Store right now. If you want to go and find it, there is a magazine or a comic book that is the Tribute to Terror Halloween Horror Nights comic book that we are going to be experiencing inside of this tribute store. Now that is everything I want to cover as far as announcements came today. I mean, I know the food has been shown and there's a new exclusive experience for the food if you want to experience it early and pay about $160, I believe, to experience the food from Halloween Horror Nights before it happens. You can go in August, I believe starting August 10th, to go and experience the food. That is called the Taste of Terror. You'll see it in your ticket options when you go to purchase your Halloween Horror Nights ticket if you haven't yet. But besides that, if you like HHN, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell notification icon so you're always notified when we post. Although speculation season for HHN 32 might be over, we are not done bringing you HHN 32 content and HHN content year round. So make sure you stay subscribed to the channel. We're going to be covering everything in August that you need to know as a first timer, or just, you know, some fun things you want to know if you're going back or another time. And we will be recording opening weekend. We will be there opening weekend. So if you want to come say hi to us in the fog, we will be there, and we will be giving out bracelets to every single viewer that comes and says hi to us. So make sure if you do see us in the fog, do not be afraid to approach us, but we will be vlogging opening night and posting that for you as well. But we will have a Sunday night live stream this Sunday at 8:30. So make sure you tune in and we'll have a good time. And you can become a member of the channel to become a haunted homie to receive exclusive content from the Horror Fiends, from us, and you will get, you know, certain things, some perks to it. But besides that, after this amazing announcement day, after knowing everything about HHN 32, knowing that Oddfellow's the center of everything this year, this is going to be a HHN year to remember. We will see you in the fog, and I will see you in the morgue.